Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to discuss how to start and prepare geography for UPSC right there from the scratch. That is for the beginners who doesn't have any idea of geography, how to prepare geography. So overall in this video what we are going to focus upon would be how to divide your overall preparation into different phases. And effectively, this whole plan we have created for overall 5 months, in which slowly taking one step at a time, you will be able to prepare geography for the examination. So we would be talking about phase-wise preparation, what phases should be there, okay, what are the key resources that we should be using, what should be the basic timeline, and overall at the end, okay, how to integrate geography with your current affairs. So this would be our part of discussion. The first part I'm starting with, in fact, would be the timeline itself. And when we say timeline for beginners, overall here we have divided it into 3 stages or phases. What are those? The first one where we focus on NCERT. Okay, second one, the standard books, taking help of standard reference books. And the third step, which is answer writing. Now overall, the timeline, if you see, the 5 months I am talking about is 0 to 2 months initially for the first stage, third and fourth month standard books, and fourth and fifth month, where fourth month would be overlapping of standard books and answer writing. This is your 5 months overall plan. So let's try to understand it one by one. The first one when we are talking about, that is for the phase 1. Phase 1, which is the foundation phase. And this would be your initial 2 months. Now try to understand, geography is a subject where the foundational base is properly conceptual. There is a myth that in geography you just have to memorize places, things and all that. Okay, but geography is semi-scientific in nature, and so geography has a lot of concepts, underlying concepts that need to be understood. And that's where our first phase should be focusing on, trying to understand all the concepts clearly, building the foundation. That's why I've called it foundation phase. And overall here, the best resource for building the foundation would be our NCERTs. Now, when we talk about NCERTs, which NCERT? That's the basic question. So many students come to us, I have to read from 6th to 10th NCERT or 11th and 12th NCERT. The basic idea is, when we are talking about foundation building, 6th to 10th NCERTs may help, but that is only the case where you do selective reading, because 6th to 10th NCERTs have a lot of facts in that. Secondly, a good portion of these set of NCERTs focus on regional geography, which again is a fact. So if there is North America, what are the features in North America? What is the regional geography of North America? Likewise Europe, likewise South America. So these are the things, okay, we as of now may skip and only focusing selectively reading the basic conceptual part. And that's where 6th to 10th, rather I would say, is selective studies. Now coming to the most important NCERTs, okay, for our foundation, which is class 11th and class 12th NCERT. So class 11th and 12th, total we have 4 NCERTs to build the foundation. In class 11th, I have 2 geography books which are both related to the physical geography. One, that is the fundamentals of physical geography, which deals with the basic aspects, okay, basic foundational aspects. So basic concepts, this is what this book deals with. So this book would be dealing with how, let's say, mountains have been formed, how cyclones occur, how rainfall occurs, what are ocean currents. So all of this foundational concepts. And this book serves very well for that purpose. Second book in class 11th only is India Physical Environment. Now this is more of a factual book, where it is a very natural follow-up to the first book. When you say first book, Fundamentals of Physical Geography, this deals with basic concepts, and a follow-up of that is when I apply these fundamentals to Indian context, then what is the Indian geography that I get? So Indian physical geography, this is basically how I divide it is, I'll put it as world physical geography and this as Indian physical geography. This is how I'm going to divide it. This is class 11th NCERT. Then we come to class 12th NCERT. Now class 12th NCERT rather deal with another aspect of geography, which is human geography. So basic division, class 11th is physical, class 12th is human geography. And human geography has been divided into two parts. One which is economic geography, which the book deals with is India, people and economy. This is economic geography portion. And the second book which we have is fundamentals of human geography. This fundamentals of human geography now would deal with the population geography, what we call as cultural geography, dealing with people, their distribution, the properties or characteristics of demography, and so on. So eventually these two together constitute what we call as human geography. So very clear division with respect to NCERTs. Class 11th deals with the physical geography, these two books, world, India. Class 12th, two NCERTs deal with human geography. So this is to start with the resources that you have to use during the first 2 months. Just focus on building the concepts, learning few facts here and there, and you are done. But during this phase, most importantly, what we should be focusing upon is when we are studying these NCERTs, reading these NCERTs, I have to focus, I have to keep in mind, okay, that these readings that we are doing from here itself at this time only, we are creating some short notes, diagrams, all of these from NCERTs. This is what I'll do in the first phase, so that your basic notes are ready. Now from here we move on to second phase. Second phase would be again 2 months, third month and fourth month. And over here our focus would be on the standard textbooks. Now standard textbooks, I'll tell you standard textbooks, but one thing to remember, standard textbooks are only going to serve you by supplementing what you have already read. So in the first phase you have made short notes from NCERTs, now you are going to supplement it, add on, okay, it would be notes enrichment through standard textbooks. So no new notes now should be made. And in this case the books, when we say, not too many books, but rather I would say, okay, one that is G.C. Leong. G.C. Leong is for physical geography. Okay, Majid Hussain for Indian geography. These are the two books that can serve as standard textbooks. Okay. Plus, along with that, the second step in this would be mapping. This is where third month and fourth month I should be focusing on developing mapping also. And for mapping, the atlas can be any atlas, or be it is Oxford Student Atlas or Orient Black Swan Atlas. Any of these will do. Now, when you are reading these, basically, definitely the most important aspects are written over here, like rivers, mountains, cities, resource, port. Okay, this is where I'll have to focus in mapping. So during this time, how to proceed with mapping is, on the daily basis, first of all, you are going to spend at least half an hour, okay, with your atlas. And secondly, every day take a target to mark 10 or 15 places in blank maps. Okay, so blank maps use is very important, because unless and until you practice plotting the places, the locations, okay, it will never get consolidated. It will always remain scattered. So very basic simple idea is, pick up your atlas, Okay, look for places, pick up a theme, like let's say river, let's say mountain, pick up a theme. Okay, look into the map and try to mark those on blank maps. This exercise you are going to do for 2 months, and you will find at the end of 2 months, that is at the end of fourth month, okay, that you would be extremely comfortable in terms of mapping part. Got it? So over here we have the standard textbooks. Standard textbooks uses now would be when you are reading, let's say GC Leong, and you have already made notes on geomorphology. Now when you are reading GC Leong, whatever additional information you get, you add it to your notes only, what you have made during reading the NCRTs. So this is your second phase, which would be third and fourth month. And from here, moving on to phase 3. Now, phase 3 is the most important part, I would say. Okay, where now this is where you are going to build a superstructure on the foundation that you have already laid. So this you see in the timeline 4 to 5 months. Now 3 to 4 months earlier was there, which means fourth month would be overlapping. You are reading textbooks, you are doing mapping, but along with that, most important idea is my answer writing. Two aspects to this. Answer writing is one, and current affairs integration. How to integrate current affairs, how to create a consolidated understanding, linked understanding of what you have read. This can be done mainly through PYQs. That's the last stage. The previous questions you take up. So you take up PYQs. The diagrams that you have practiced earlier during phase 1 as well as phase 2, you have enriched it. Now figure out how are you going to integrate diagrams into PYQ. Which diagrams you can use. Okay, mark it with the PYQ, note down PYQ on the margins right there. What are the possible diagrams you can use? So first thing is mapping over here. This mapping is PYQ with diagram mapping. Okay, which diagrams I can use? And with one PYQ, try to note down 2 or 3 diagrams actually. These are the possible list of diagrams that I can use. Because based on what precisely you are asked in the paper later, you will be able to select out of that list. So diagram mapping with PYQs, and along with that, this and this, which is where there would be a number of questions where you will have the linkages of the question with some other part of GS also. So in this part, what I need to do is, whenever practicing PYQs, I'll keep my syllabus open in front of me. So have a printout of the syllabus on a page, keep it in front of you, and try to find out if this is the case, can I link, if a question on volcanic eruption has been asked, volcanoes have been asked, straightforward, it's a geophysical phenomena in your syllabus. But along with that, it can be related to disaster also from paper 3, GS paper 3. This is how you are going to link it. Okay, some question from economic geography, how you can link it to GS paper 3. Again, agriculture, industries. Okay, what is the linkage with other subject, that is economy also. These are the linkages you need to map. I'm not saying you start writing the answer based on these linkages. Most probably you may not have read till then economy or any other subject, but at least looking at the syllabus, the topics mentioned in the syllabus, you can map it, write it over there with the PYQ. So PYQ mapping with the diagram and PYQ mapping with the other GS part. This is extremely important idea. So what we have written over here is start with PYQ, diagrams, use diagrams, integrate geography, GS may different parts and all. And more importantly now, with the different readings, let's say of newspapers and all, always keep a tab on. Okay, what case studies you can use, okay, with respect to your answers. Let's say urban flooding, droughts, SEZs, a number of news would be coming, the snippets in the newspaper, okay, which in fact you can use as case study. So that would be our target. Okay, maintain a separate notebook for case studies only, not just geography. You can keep writing a number of case studies over there. This happened over there, for example. X happened over there, X SEZ has this success story, this city experienced flooding, so urban flooding, what the administration did over there. So these are different multiple elements. The advanced phase and last phase, what I am calling as phase 3. Once this done, you would be effectively ready with your geography preparation. So these are the 3 phases for your geography preparation. So in the end, if I have to give you some final tips, one thing I'll say is consistency matters more than speed. It should never be your target to, let's say, complete 3 chapters, 4 chapters in a day. You will not get anything out of it. Rather, even if you take, let's say, 10 pages, 15 pages a day, 10 pages a day, but if you keep doing it every day, that is what is more important for us. So be consistent rather than being very fast. It's precisely the difference between a 100-meter race and a marathon. Okay, the sprint can be there for 100 meters. Okay, but for marathon, you can't keep up with that speed throughout. So if you need to be consistent, you need to be slow. So slow and consistent. Second, which we have already focused upon, is concepts. NCERTs focus on the concepts. What are the concepts I need to learn? Facts you can learn anytime later. Okay, fact learning is not a big deal, is not a rocket science. Concept understanding, that's where your focus area should be. And maps, of course, I told you, blank maps are there, plus you need to practice hand-drawn maps. Mark as much as you can on the maps so that you effectively create your own atlas. That's the idea. So the idea finally is your focus should be on understanding, as it says, concepts. Your focus should be on concepts. Your focus should be on understanding. Memorizing, that is part and parcel of any subject, but it can be done at a later stage also. So this is the idea of how to prepare geography, which I have clarified earlier is purely for beginners who have not yet started geography or who have not been introduced to geography. So this is how you will plan your geography preparation in 3 phases over a duration of 5 months. So hope you find this video useful. Thank you very much, and let's meet in the next discussion.